Hey, what's up guys, it is Dport here from Dport Gaming, and today we got a game between the yellow undead player, Ted, or TED, against the red human player, Yumiko, on the map Amazonia. I'm not sure what this game was from, but I saw it was a good series. I'll put the information down in the description if any of you guys are interested. Looks like Yumiko is going for the standard human base opening, not going for the power build, as we do see a lot of humans do that nowadays. And I guess really no need to do it against an undead player. And it looks like Ted is just going for the Altar of Darkness and the Ziggurat, so this is probably the telltale signs of a ghoul look. But Ted is known for his Ted Fiends, meaning that late T2 Crypt Fiend, a little bit late, is able to get out there in time to harass a little bit, but you know, he is known for that. And probably he's going to stick to his strategy. And Ted just recently won World Cyber Games. I don't think kind of people overlooked him. People definitely overlooked him. They didn't think he was in shape, and he showed them. Had the little tricky Banshee strategy that never was really abused or just wasn't used as much. And I just think Orc players weren't ready for the Banshee. They didn't have enough practice against it, and Ted just he exploited it. Did a very nice job in World Cyber Games. If you guys don't know what I was talking about, he did a Crypt Fiend Banshee, I guess you could say, push, and the Orc players, which were the most dominant race in World Cyber Games last year, it was they just couldn't handle it. It was too hard for them. They weren't prepared and didn't practice enough against Banshees, and I think that's what Ted gave him the upper hand. He might not have been you know, completely in shape, but he was in pretty good shape, and I think people don't give him enough credit as he should. And Yumiko going for this, I think we just saw this in a recent game against Ketchy as well, putting the Arcane Tower a little bit out in front of his base. Maybe he's starting to do a trend here against undead players, because it makes sense though, because the skeleton would just run in here and get more hits. Usually the Arcane Tower should take down that those skeletons before they can even come in and do some harassment. Yumiko getting the lightning shield over here on the Archmage. Archmage is going to be able to use that to his advantage and try to take down a little bit more damage onto that rogue. He's going to pick up a circle as well. Needs to be careful not to distribute any of that lightning damage on those units right there. Meanwhile, the Death Knight for Ted is coming in here. It's going to be a little bit too late. He's not surprised, though. He's going to be able to kill that frog as well as pop that Rod of Necromancy if he feels like it. Meanwhile, the Ted Fiend should be coming, actually going for a little bit sooner one, unless this is the usual time. He maybe gets one Fiend attacks. But anyways, just keeping an eye over here on Yumiko's Archmage. Yumiko is still deciding what he wants to do at this point. Here we go. We got Militia coming in, so possibly just an expansion point here, or unless he's just going to go for the little green camp over here. We do have the Rod of Necromancy being popped here by Ted, picking up level 2 here on the Archmage from the multitasking. Yumiko is trying to, he has been doing that distraction on the heroes, and then just sending Militia over here to creep. He did that in Ketchy's games as well, so Yumiko using that multitask ability pretty nice there, because humans basically the only race that can do that. I guess Night Elf could do that to some extent, but it's a lot easier to do human because they have the Militia ability, which is always nice, and nice to see that Yumiko is exploiting that factor. Meanwhile, we do see that attack after that one Fiend. So we got the one Fiend, Ted Fiends, well, everybody likes to call it. And meanwhile, it looks like Yumiko is going to be a little bit more aggressive here, and he's going to go for the expansion point. Realizes Ted is just going to go for his standard opening here, and he's going to try to exploit this and go for the expansion point here. Probably going to lose a few Militia, at least this one over here actually is going to die from the creeps. And looks like we actually do have Ted just focusing the Archmage with those skeletons. Skeletons go down. It looks like, I think Ted tried to get a creep check there. Did he get it? He got some experience points, so I think he did get a creep check of some sort or kill the unit. Meanwhile, Yumiko's still trying to take down this rock golem. Definitely needs to be careful here. Cannot get surrounded, but those Militia do wear off now, and they are just standard peasants, which will kind of struggle here. Actually used a death claw. I think he might have misclicked there because he hit a strong footman, a footman with a lot of HP, and didn't kill it. So maybe a little bit trouble there for Ted, misclicking, but ultimately in the long run probably won't be that bad for him. Is going to be able to take down multiple peasants here, it looks like. Actually backing off now. Does have 2 Fiends, no more Rod of Necromancy. That's possibly the reason he's backing off here. Doesn't really have too much damage output with only 2 Fiends and a Death Knight here. We do see the power build being put up here by Yumiko. Yumiko's not even worried about putting up more towers. Feels like he can sustain this expansion point and push back these Fiends with just the Footman and Water Elemental. And meanwhile, no tech coming up yet for Yumiko, just trying to put all his resources into this expansion point thus far. And meanwhile, we do see the Rod of Necromancy as well as the Death Knights and the Crypt Fiends heading out for Ted. Ted actually has 4 Fiends now, so going for a pretty heavy Fiend look at this point. Probably saving his resources for a Lich here. He's going to go for the quick Lich at T2 here. We do have the Archmage here. Picked up level 3, so still doing multitask with the Archmage. Archmage was able to get some vision on that Death Knight to make sure Death Knight wasn't going to be able to come over here and do a creep jack. So some decent items over here. Does have the Scroll of the Beast as well, with a Circlet of Nobility. Meanwhile, we do have some safe creeping over here by Ted. He's going to pick up that level 2. That's going to help him get that Unholy Aura. Meanwhile, we are going to see the Slaughterhouse, so I think we might see a Fiend with some Wagon Push, maybe some T2. Ketchy tried to do this on Amazonia as against Yumiko before, wasn't successful, but maybe Ted will have a better plan this time. Meanwhile, looks like this expansion point is finally up. We do have some scout towers being put up as well. It's going to be a while for those to upgrade, and I think Ted does sense this. There's really not too much to defend it, except for that level 3 Archmage with those level 2 Water Elementals, which will be a hassle here for Ted, as well as that Arcane Tower, which is going to help against those skeletons, as well as that Death Knight. Meanwhile, we do have some militiamen coming in as well. I think they're going to be sent back to the base, actually. Yumiko thought Ted was going to go for a commitment here, and now he has the Lich in here. Probably is going to get that Frost Nova, so he can get some nice nuking. Could go for the Frost Armor, but it most likely is going to get just the nuke, just to help him take down some of these footmen, because the footmen are going to be hard to take down with that defend. There we go, we see it right there. Does have Rod of Necromancy on both heroes. Only one left though on the Death Knight. Is going to be able to take down that Water Elemental. Death Knight is being forced back here, just to auto attack here from the Archmage. There is a nuke on the Archmage, really not going to do too much except for force him back a little bit. And Yumiko's just biding time for these guard tower. One guard tower finished, another one it will be completed relatively soon. We do have the first statue coming out here for Ted. Ted's going to take down another Fiend here. And Ted doing a decent job, but really just should try to push inside here. I think that's what he's going to try to do. Try to take down that Scout Tower. Takes it down really easily with that piercing damage from those Fiends. And is he going to stay under 50 food? He is actually staying under 40 food at this point. I think he is trying to make another Ziggurat right there. Yeah, he just finished another Ziggurat. So now he's probably just going to stay under 50 food here and try to do an under 50 food push here with the Fiends. Maybe he's going to get a meat wagon involved. We do see that first statue. Nothing being made at the slaughterhouse right now. But Yumiko just really needs to keep this defense up right now. Really doesn't have anything. Actually, teching here at the keep for T2. A lot of human players have been doing that, and I did read the comments section below from my last commentary. And the reason why the human players like to tech at this, at their expansion point, is because they get more HP. As well as they can use militia, I believe. I think they can. I never thought you could use militia, but someone wrote that in the comments. So maybe someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't think you could use militia. I thought it was only your main base, but I guess maybe if you go to the keep, you can use militia. But that would be pretty helpful. Anyways, Archmage getting a little bit out of place here. Could have got nuked, but not enough mana on the Lich, nor the Death Knight. Trying to take down this one Crypt Fiend, and it looks like he's going to be able to take it down. Take down the Water Elemental before that Crypt Fiend will fall. Rod of Necromancy being popped again, just trying to cancel down some of these guard towers before they get up. If multiple guard towers get up, it is going to be pretty difficult. The one, as well as the Arcane Tower right now, is really not too big of a deal for Ted here. He's willing to keep those up. He doesn't really care about them. Don't do too much damage. Another statue here. Maybe he's going for the T3. No, he's not. So he's staying just Fiends under 50 food, and they're going to try to Fiend push this as well to the ability as he possibly can. That T2 is growing ever so close here, and we are going to see some casters. Probably going to see some mass breakers, actually. Breakers do really nice counter to those Fiends. Fiends just really can't take them down that fast either. So we do see 2 guard towers up now. It's going to be kind kind of a hassle here with the defend from the footman. Going to have to show some micro here. Ted is going to take down that one guard tower though, and Ted doing a pretty decent job here. We do see the keep being completed here. For Yumiko, should see some T2 units in the near future. I do see a level 2 Lich being put up here as well, so we might see some Frost Armor. I think he's going to go for the conversion for the mana though, just because he needs more mana on the Lich. I don't know. Anyways, do see the Archmage definitely needs some more mana for some more Water Elementals, and it needs to be careful here. Does have that boost of speed though. There's the nuke, and do see a lot of towers being put up though, but once he takes down this one guard tower, it may be a hassle, but he's trying to heal it up now. He's healing it up with 5 peasants, going to be 6, going to be 7 possibly, and he's still going to take it down, but we do have very nice positioning here on these 3 towers in the back here for Yumiko, and they're going to be a very, very tough shot there for those fiends, and I don't even think Ted wants to even push in there, because he knows, and wow, Ted taking all the mana drain on that Lich, and he's not even worried about it anymore. 3 peasants, meanwhile, healing up that keep, and Yumiko really needs to do something, needs some assistance, is getting a Mountain King here, is power building, actually not power building, just single building some Arcane Sanctums, so he's trying to get those breakers. Now he's going to bring in some policemen over here, going to bring the militia, and Ted is just going to try to auto attack and win by taking down this keep. Oh, I do hear a meat wagon in this action, so I think he's going over 50 food, 59 over 60 food, so we're seeing the first meat wagon here, a few ghouls getting involved as well, a lot of militia, as well as the Mountain King here. And Amazonia seems like it's going to be, it always seems against a human player as well as undead, it always turns into an expansion, and then the expansion, then the undead player tries to get some meat wagons, but last time Yumiko was successful against Kechi, but of course this is a different undead player, different play style. This is Ted. Ted just got level 3 Death Knight actually. Still needs to be careful on that Mountain King with those bolts. He's going to save that one ghoul. I thought maybe he'd go for a nuke though. Actually probably doesn't have enough mana on the Lich. Just about to get it though. Just needs to keep microing these fiends away from these militiamen. And I think, yeah, actually you can. I think you can use militia there because these militia were kind of high up there. Unless they just ran in. I think he just re-militiaed them from the keep. And meanwhile, just needs to keep these fiends alive. One might go down on the left side. Actually going to use conversion on one of those fiends for the Lich maybe. I'm not sure actually what he used there. It could have been a bolt or just autofocus. Not really sure how that one fiend just dropped. But anyways, this meat wagon is going to do a lot of damage on these militia that are already fairly weak. And Ted doing a decent job. Lost a few fiends, but in exchange took down a lot of those units for Yumiko. But Yumiko really not too worried here. The longer this game goes, the better, because he's going to be able to produce a lot more spell breakers, which will definitely counter those fiends very, very easily. And he can't really do too much. This positioning on these towers right here, as well as this flying sheep. No, I'm just kidding. But these positioning on these towers are just so good against these fiends. So basically, all you can do is just auto attack the keep with these meat wagons. But these meat wagons, with 2 of them, should do a lot of damage over time. And Yumiko's going to need to do something. Probably going to try to scroll up here. Does have a potion of lesser invulnerability as well as a potion healing on his heroes. Should prevent some nuking in the future. Going to pick up the level 4 on the Archmage, so we're going to see a level 2 aura as well. It's going to help him with his Water Elemental production. Still only T2 here from the Halls of the Dead. And we are going to see the TP here coming for Yumiko. Probably going to try to TP on top, maybe just a little bit to the left here. And these spell breakers are going to be very, very difficult to take down for these fiends here. One fiend looks like it's gonna fall. A few more hits would do it. One more hit would do it, and it looks like it does go down. And just a second away there from that coil, another fiend will die here. It looks like, no, there's the nuke on the Mountain King, trying to take down the Mountain King. All fiends trying to focus it down here. In exchange, though, he's losing positioning against these breakers, and once these breakers get inside against these fiends, it's very difficult to micro them. Looks like these breakers are actually going after the statues now. The Mountain King going to pop the potion of invulnerability. Breakers still going after that one statue. These meat wagons do need to micro, need to be careful here, because they don't really have the escape ability. It looks like these breakers are going after the meat wagon now. Another fiend is going to die here from a strongbolt, I believe. It was a strongbolt? Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. It was too fast. There's multiple Mountain Kings here with the illusion. Is going to try to save that one crit frame with a coil. One breaker is going to, another breaker is going to fall down from my auto attack from the fiend, and these Mountain King as well as these Water Elemental's just coming up from the back here. Another Fiend is going to fall. He could probably get a kill there. There wasn't enough mana from the Death Knight to heal it up, and these Breakers are just such a good counter to these Fiends. There is a Surround. Is going to get a nice Frost Nova, though, take down a majority of those peasants there, and Ted does have the hero advantage at this point. Does have that Lich level 3 as well as the Death Knight, but his unit composition just got splattered. Those Fiends just fell like flies, and not a good position here for Ted. Yumiko's going to be able to keep reproducing those spell breakers, as well as that Goblin Shredder in the long run. Helps him so much because he doesn't even really need any peasants on lumber with that one Shredder. That Shredder just gives him all the lumber in the world that he possibly needs. Lich trying to pick a level 4 here will be successful. Probably going to try to scroll up as well. Going to sell that replenishment potion. And picks up the level 4, so we see 4-4. Ted definitely has the hero advantage at this point. Gonna try to do another push or try to force a fight here before the Spellbreaker army grows out of control. There is still no blacksmith. I'm surprised. I'd like to see maybe some upgrades there on those breakers, maybe just even a 1-1, especially the defense. The defense upgrade would definitely help their survivability. And do see 3 of these meat wagons going to work here on this keep, and Ted just needs to keep them alive here. I might have just been calling Ted Catchy, excuse me if I have it. It's very similar, but anyways, they're not really, there's different players, but I've done a lot of games on Catchy lately, so when I see Undead player. But anyways, it looks like these meat wagons are going to get caught off guard here. Does get a nice bash there. Is going to try to nuke that Mountain King in exchange. Is not going to be successful. Mountain King is pretty beefy, actually, 950 HP with that gauntlets, as well as that Circlet of Nobility. These breakers doing some nice feedback work on that Death Knight. Death Knight's going to have to retreat a little bit. Breakers getting inside once again, as well as the Water Elementals splitting up this undead army. There's a nuke. Is going to have to use that potion of healing on that Mountain King. There's a Stormbolt on that Fiend. Fiend goes down. These Water Elementals just trying to chase down this one statue, and these Fiends are in a bad position here. Do have slow as well, so do we see some sorcerers? We do see some sorcerers coming from the back. There's a nuke on the Mountain King. One more hit would do it. Mountain King goes down, and this could be a game changer here. Looks like that Fiend is going to go down in exchange. Yumiko's going to have to back up now. Doesn't have the Mountain King to help him out with some focusing, as well as those bolts. Just very, very nice counter to undead. And looks like Ted has the little bit of advantage right now without that Mountain King for Yumiko going down. So now he's going to be able to do some constant attacking with these meat wagons on this keep, and he really needs to get that Mountain King back as soon as possible. But it is only level 2, so it should be revived, almost already halfway revived. So I just need to hang on just a little bit until you can get that Mountain King. Even though it's only a level 2 Mountain King, that is a huge difference. That focus on the Archmage is going to be next, so those nukes be very nice. And there's a lot of slow now coming here. There we see 5 sorcerers, so those 5 sorcerers are going to be able to cast a lot of slow. He's going to try to use a lot of nukes here, and that's going to definitely help the focusing from the breakers. Breakers will be able to catch up to these Fiends very, very easy now, and these Fiends are going to drop like it's nothing because that's slow. They just can't even micro. You can't even micro Fiends when they're slow. And there's 3 statues here, but he's only T2, so he won't be able to get any destroyers here to save these Fiends, to save them from the slow. And you see here, as you see here, Ted's really not even microing his units. Doesn't really have much mana either. These breakers are such a good counter to undead. Got that feedback on the statues, got the feedback on the heroes. But wow, we do see 4 meat wagons bombarding this keep right now. And this keep is going to have to put a lot more peasants here to heal it up. We do see the Mountain King rejoining the fight though, and that's going to be the first focus on that Lich. Is going to have to use a coil there. Mountain King very, very tanky. Nuke's really not going to affect him. He's just going straight up for the focus on that the Lich possibly. No, he's just going for the meat wagon now. The Mountain King just being focused once again, but no, he's redistributing his focus now on the Archmage. He's going to pass the potion though to try to get that Archmage a little bit more mana. Really not too much mana though. Does have one more nuke from the Death Knight. Is going to use it to save a unit. Wow, Yumiko just running his sorcerers a little bit out of place here, so just losing some unnecessary units here. And now he's going to run around the trees, and wow, he just fed that Lich, and Yumiko might have put himself in a rough situation. Just lost a lot of units there, and Ted looks like he has the advantage. Just going to be able to focus down now, and he just fed the undead heroes way too much. Now we do see the level 5 Lich, the level 5 Death Knight, and those nukes are just way too powerful. 1-2 nuke combo that is just going to be too much for the Archmage to survive. The Archmage shows itself here. It's going to be instant nuke, instant death. There's the coil waiting, trying to get that the Frost Nova, but before that could possibly happen, Yumiko calls GG. Very nice by Ted. Ketchy wasn't able to pull that the push off successfully, but Ted kept with it, and definitely Ted has shown that he has gotten back in shape. So very nice to see Ted come out on top there against that breaker defense. So hope you guys enjoyed game 1, game 2, and possibly game 3 coming shortly. And yeah, peace out.